Mark Duplass was skeptical about joining Natalia Grace's drama, Good American Family. Do we need another ripped from the headline story? Mark Duplass admits that when he got approached about starring in Hulu's Natalia Grace drama, Good American Family, he was very skeptical. Look, there's a documentary, there's a movie called Orphan that has similar themes. It's been in the press. Why do we need another ripped from the headline story? Duplass told Variety Thursday night at the show's Los Angeles premiere and FYC event at the Directors Guild Theater. But after Duplass sat down with showrunners Katie Robbins and Sarah Sutherland to hear their idea of telling multiple different perspectives to explore hidden biases, he found the Rashomon type structure compelling. That was really exciting for me because it hasn't really been seen in the miniseries format. The 8-episode Hulu series tells the true story of married couple Christine, Ellen Pompeo, and Michael Barnett, Duplass, as they adopt Natalia Grace, Imogen Faith Reed, a young girl from Ukraine with dwarfism. But as the couple begin connecting with Natalia, they suspect that she's not telling them everything about herself, and later go on to claim in court that she lied about her age. Sutherland said the entire series getting greenlit was contingent on finding the right person to play Natalia. After an international search, they received a tape from newcomer Reed out of the UK. I mean, she not only has to play over a wide range of years, she also plays Natalia from 2 different ages and different people's perspectives, Sutherland said. Imogen blew everybody away. As soon as everybody saw her tape, it was clear she was the one. In order to nail her first major series role, Disney set Reed up with an acting coach. From there, we broke down the script, broke down the character, and I talked with the directors, EPs, and a dialect coach to find my own version of Natalia, Reed said. For many of the cast members, getting the time to conduct research and look at varying perspectives allowed them to get into character. But Christina Hendricks, who plays Cynthia Mans, explained that she only found out about the part around 30 hours before being expected on set. By the time I came along, Imogen had already been working on the show for a while, Hendricks said. She had her rhythm, she had the character down. So I was nervous when I got to set and just kind of followed her lead. We had immediate chemistry, and she made it easy on me. Notably, Good American Family marks Pompeo's first leading television role following her 20 seasons starring in Grey's Anatomy. She hopes that by the time people get to the end of the new series, they will understand the full scope of the story. I want people just to think about how they look at things and what kind of judgments they make based on the way people look, Pompeo said. I think we just need to check our own biases and question why we believe what we believe. Mark Duplass was skeptical about joining Natalia Grace's drama, Good American Family. Do we need another ripped from the headline story? Mark Duplass stood at the edge of his kitchen island, stirring almond milk into his coffee with the slow, reluctant rhythm of a man who'd just read a script that made his stomach twist. Good American Family. Even the title felt loaded. He'd received the pilot from his agent 2 days prior, nestled among more predictable fare, quirky indie comedies, morally complex miniseries, and at least 2 offers to play a dad in a suburban hellscape. But this one stood out. The subject. A dramatization inspired by the Natalia Grace case, the bizarre real-life saga that had become a national obsession, part mystery, part horror story, part cultural Rorschach test. Mark had been following the headlines like everyone else who hadn't. A Ukrainian orphan adopted by a well-meaning American couple who later accused her of being a grown woman pretending to be a child. The case unraveled like a fever dream, bouncing between exploitation and empathy, tabloids and Twitter threads. But dramatizing it. He was skeptical. No, he was uncomfortable. I just don't want to be a part of another one of those shows, he told his wife, Katie, later that evening, pushing the printed script across the table like it might bite. You know, the ones that pretend to examine trauma, but really just serve it up with a side of popcorn. Katie, who'd read the script earlier, gave him a look that was half challenge, half concern. You didn't think the writing was good. Mark paused. It's good, scarily good. And that was the problem. The pilot, crafted with eerie precision by showrunner Devin Marks, a former journalist turned prestige TV writer, wasn't campy or sensational. It wasn't just trying to capitalize on the headline, it was interrogating it. The show didn't ask what happened to Natalia Grace. It asked why America was so desperate to believe either version of the story, and what that said about us. The script followed the fictionalized Novak family, Nathan and Claire Novak, and their adopted daughter Anya. The narrative bounced between depositions, therapy sessions, hidden cameras, and talk show interviews. It asked impossible questions. Can a child be both victim and manipulator? What does it mean to be a good parent in a society obsessed with optics over reality? When we consume these stories, are we seeking justice or just entertainment? Duplass would be playing Nathan Novak, the weary but charming father, a man slowly unraveling under the weight of doubt, paranoia, and social pressure. It was the kind of layered role that most actors dreamed of. But Mark wasn't just any actor. He was a filmmaker, a writer, someone who prided himself on the moral integrity of his work. He had built his career on authenticity, not exploitation. And so he hesitated. Devin called. His agent texted the next day. Wants to talk. Said no pressure, just a Zoom. Mark joined the call later that evening, arms crossed, coffee in hand. Devin appeared on screen, messy bun, flannel shirt, the aesthetic of a creative who hadn't slept in 48 hours. Okay, Devin began. You're skeptical. That's good. You should be. Mark blinked. Excuse me. If you weren't skeptical, you'd be the wrong guy for this role, she said. We're not making Dateline, the series. We're dissecting the genre, not reinforcing it. Duplass leaned forward. But don't you think people are burned out on ripped from the headlines? Doesn't it feel like we're profiting off real people's pain? Devin nodded slowly. Yes, but that's exactly why I wrote it. This isn't about Natalia Grace. Not really. It's about the machine around her. The way society devours complex situations, simplifies them, weaponizes them. I want you to play the dad because you have the kind of face that makes people believe you. And I want them to question why. Mark sat back, quietly absorbing her words. The following week, he asked for a second draft. Then a table read. Then a script for episode 2. With each layer, he realized what Devin was building wasn't a drama. It was a mirror. One held up to the American family, to social media culture, to the obsession with victimhood and villainy, and the thin, paper-cut lines between the two. When production was announced, social media immediately caught fire. Some accused the show of exploiting a still sensitive, unresolved case. Others praised the ambition of the series. But what Mark noticed most were the comments that weren't about Natalia at all. They're making this show for clicks. Here comes another true crime cash grab. This is why I don't trust anything anymore. Mark began to see it all differently. On set, he found himself asking more questions than he had on any other project. Was Nathan Novak a villain or a man trying to be a hero in a broken system? Was Anya innocent or a product of a society that wanted her to play a part? During a particularly intense scene, where his character breaks down after discovering a hidden note in Anya's bedroom, Mark found himself crying after the director called cut. Not because of the performance, but because he finally saw what Devon had been trying to do. It's not about the truth, she told him later. It's about the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of chaos. When the teaser trailer dropped, Mark sat alone in his living room, watching the montage play out. A girl's laugh echoing down a hallway, a news anchor announcing a shocking twist, a mother screaming behind a locked door, his own voice muttering, "I don't know who she is anymore." The final shot, the family sitting in perfect stillness at the dinner table, smiling wide for an imaginary camera. The tagline, "Good American family, what do you believe?" Mark turned off the TV, exhaled slowly, and sent a text to Devon. "I'm in, and I think we're going to make people very uncomfortable." "That's the point, right?" She replied, "Exactly." Would you like a follow-up scene or maybe a character profile from the show?